The timeframes for conveyancing and understanding this is really dependent on each transaction. No single transaction is a repeat of the one after or the one before. Every transaction is different and presents its own timeframe. On an average timeframe scale, you could probably estimate 12 to 14 weeks for a freehold property sale or purchase, with an extra 2 to 3 weeks if it's a leasehold property. But essentially, the timeframe on a sale depends on a few main key factors. Your conveyancer will need to provide a contract pack to the buyer solicitors, which is essentially lots of information about the property and the contract for the buyer solicitors to approve and raise questions on. Your conveyancer will also need to ensure you sign the contract and transfer in good time and answer any questions that the buyer solicitors raise. If you've got a mortgage, they'll also need to obtain a settlement figure for that mortgage as well. But essentially, the sale part of the transaction is really determined by those key timeframes. If you're acting on the purchase of a property and you're buying a property, then the main things that will determine your timeframes will be how quickly your conveyancer raises the inquiries and you get replies to those inquiries and they're all satisfied, how quickly your search results come back, and also how quickly you secure your financing for the property purchase. So if you're buying with a mortgage offer, for example, how quickly your mortgage offer comes through. If you're cashing in investments and you're a cash buyer, how quickly you can get the funds available and prove your source of funds around those, the cash purchase as well. So timeframes are usually dependent on a number of factors, but the key is to have a conveyancer at your side that is proactive and chasing regularly for you and keeping you in the loop. If you have any questions about the process, your conveyancer will guide you through that and make sure that you understand how each stage of the process follows from to the next one and what the time frame for each section is. Ultimately, the goal is to get you exchanged as soon as possible, but the factors that play into that are the ones that I mentioned before. If you're buying a leasehold property as well, it's not just down to the buyer's conveyancer and the seller's conveyancer. You're then dealing with a landlord and a management company that also collate additional information for a leasehold property. So whilst timeframes vary from transaction to transaction, a general guideline is 12 to 14 weeks for a freehold transaction, with a few more weeks added to that if it's leasehold.